A ver, comando aquí, y un tiempo, como que con algunos más capaz de Sonqo. Una familia muy sabia, pero una cosa que una cosa que me quita para que como de Sonqo. Tapos andar cuando el monte de la víctima de pizza o serie de cero o todos. A ver, somos hasta con la de la paico con el aquí con la clínica aquí para la clínica. Ampul, a ver qué pues para con la Karina con los somos campo muy tirando muy. A ver, comandante para mandatos con un a ver qué para con el como. A ver, artículo con más que comanda ya te puso. A ver, Pachamamita. A ver, Pachamama kita patite santa Pachamama como está con un a ver qué a ver qué para el tuque somos hasta con un Toko ya chapoto toko ya tikutu. A ver si pasa na perico Pachamama que somos hasta un chingo toko mi hijo planta con rico. Anoche aquí mando con el chico zapato un Pachamama. Ahora somos hasta ya na perico que punto que te van a un gato de manico. Hatun jata que te encuentran somos que te encuentran lo que mambes panamambes por una equipa somos echanando por una equipa.
Aña Ricardo.
Tichus, Samaq mangrita munashanki chaqa samakuy wayqa ya.
Picheño pasama en gracias por gracias Freddy. También muchas gracias por pillar
Wonderful. Okay. Elizabeth, can you please make me a co-host because I need to share the work of
Absolutely. I imagine we have another amazing presentation. Karina is very thorough in her presentations. She's doing fantastic. She's excellent. I wanted to welcome everyone for coming to this. It's our final Quero Youth presentation of the year. This is part of our Quero Youth program to help them get used to speaking in front of groups and in front of people and presenting their culture. So we really appreciate everyone who comes to give them the opportunity to speak to the world. And with this program, any donations that come from this program goes to an English class that they are enrolled in currently to help them become fluid translators for their culture to the world. As you know, Quechua is a really beautiful and really complex and gorgeous, challenging language. And to be like Freddie here, a fluid Quechua to English translator, is an amazing skill. And it's not easy to learn. So we are hoping to help our young Pacos keep their traditions. And thank you, Fredicito. You are a marvel, no doubt. All right. So Karina, we're so excited for your presentation.
Karinita, preséntate, mami. Nombre, apellido, ya nos dijiste la edad, tu pueblo.
In English, Karina.
No creo.
Karina, in English, please.
Yeah. My name is Karina Sonqo Flores. I am 21 years old. I live in Queros, Charcapata. I like Queros. community, and eso sería todo.
And who is your grandfather?
And my grandfather is Humberto Sonqo.
Don Umberto Sonqo is a very, very, very world famous Paco who travels all over. Dear, dear, one of our dear elders in the community. And we're so thrilled and excited to have this youth group and to actually complete our first year of the Global Paco School, which has been amazing. We are certainly well on our way to becoming a human bridge to nature. And that is the goal of this school. That is what we are taught. That is what we learn. We learn how to call the nature beings. We learn the proper invocation and respect and how to maintain the harmony through our offerings. And this is what we're doing here on this path, to be some of the humans that help to keep this right relationship of respect and exchange with Mother Nature. Hey, Karina. Let's
Okay,
hear
Karina,
what you have to share.
¿qué vas a presentar, Karina, ahora?
Yeah.
Y Machacuna te presenta en Kipanayay.
Voy a presentar las partes del tejido que tiene o el telar
Okay.
y cuál es su función de cada uno.
Okay, so she's going to speak about the tools of your backstrapped weaving technique. So she will tell us all about what kind of instrument they use and what kind of usage they give. All right, so are you ready for this? Okay, I'm sharing the screen now. Boom. Very good.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, this is the presentation, of course, there's instruments and parts of the weaving, okay, from the Qawaq people today, 14th of November, 2021. Presented by Karina Sonqo Flores, okay, so the second one. Partes del telar.
Just a little minute of background for this. The weavings are so important for them, and it is through the weavings that the world, namely one anthropologist in the 1950s named Oscar Núñez del Prado, recognized the Quero as living descendants of the Inca because they had these patterns in their weavings that were lost in the rest of Peru because the weaving was forbidden and because of the Spanish conquistadores crushing of the culture. But up in Quero Nation, they were so far away, they never got the news that they weren't supposed to weave those patterns. So of course they kept going. And that's why we have them today. And they were recognized in 1950 by the academic world. And in 2011, officially recognized as the last Inca village in Peru. Okay, so that's why the weavings and textiles are so important. Yes.
Okay. Entonces, Karinita, tú me dices cuando mueva la siguiente diapositiva.
Ya.
¿Me dices siguiente?
Sí, siguiente. Ya.
Okay.
Buenas tardes con todos. En esta oportunidad les voy a presentar sobre las partes del tejido y los instrumentos que se utilizan para el proceso de este tejido que nosotros hacemos, que es away.
Okay, now we are going to learn all the process. I mean, we are going to know all the parts, the instruments that they use for the weaving system and all the usage they give it to them.
Ya. En esta parte les voy a explicar un poquito de las partes.
Ya.
Los 4 palitos que están parados, como pueden observar, se llama tacarpo.
Tacarpo, yeah, perfecto.
Ajá.
Okay, so basically, their loom, it is held by these 4 sticks. Okay, we can see 4 sticks. All right, there, and there. These 4 sticks name are tacarpo. Okay, basically they have it, for holding the weaving. Sigue.
En él también se puede visualizar una soga.
Ya.
Una soga, y a eso se le dice guatana, o también se podría decir como que el que va a hacer nudo al agua, el que lo va a sujetar.
Ya, el sujetador. Está bien, entonces. Entonces, ¿qué nombre le has puesto a este? Guatana, ¿no? Ah, sí. Huasca Watana. Aha. So there is this rope, the rope. Actually, this rope is made out of llama hair. Okay. Mainly the Qero people does the ropes from a llama fiber, right? This is why they use the llama. This is very allergic if you make a cloth out of that. It is why they use for making sacks and also ropes. So this rope that holds, the loom is called huasca or watana. Actually, huasca, it is a rope in Quechua, or watana is what you use for tying, okay? Comes from the verb watai, which is to tie. Yeah, sigue, mami.
Luego está el agua. El agua está tanto en los extremos tanto en la parte superior como en el inferior. Y también está en medio del iliao.
Ajá. El agua es este tronquito.
Ajá. Y los que están en la parte superior y en la parte inferior también. Se les dice agua.
Ajá, a los dos.
Ajá.
Okay, so then we have these 3 large woods, okay, like rounded woods that we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, those 3 name is agua. Okay, agua.
Which is part of Hawaii, or?
Yes, the derivates from the verb awai, which is to weave, So agua, it is like, takes that name, I think it's because it's the most important part of the awai, right?
Yeah.
¿Qué comentario, mami?
El kaito.
And then we have, and then we have the yarn itself, a lot of yarn here. So yarn in Quechua is kaitu, okay? Yarn, is kaitu. So it's also part of the weaving, yeah?
Yeah. Y luego está el ruki, que está sujetando a la señora. Esito se llama ruki.
Yeah, okay. Then we have the ruki, okay? Well, she's going to speak, what is the usage of that. We are just recognizing now. Right here, what the lady is holding. Y después.
El illawi.
Illawi, okay? Then we have the illawi, okay? Which is this very thin wood, goes across, and then with a lot of other yarn, which is holding to each yarn of the loom. And well, she will speak about it too. Yeah, perfecto, Karinita.
Siguiente diapositiva, por favor.
Acá nos vas a enseñar, ¿no? Por cada elemento para qué sirve. Perfecto, ok.
Ya. Ahí como podemos visualizar el tacarpu, vamos a comenzar. En los extremos son 4 estancas de madera. De madera utilizan en allá, o sino de palos que traen desde el monte. También podría ser de metal, pero más es preferible la madera, para que no le haga daño a la soga. Ajá.
Ah, perfecto. All right.
Ajá.
Okay.
En el que va, los tacarpos se le pone en forma rectangular para hacer este proceso del agua.
Perfect. Okay. So then we are starting to identify each, what we learned in the previous page, now we are going to speak. We are going to go into a deepening of tacarpu. So as you can see, the tacarpu are these 4 sticks, that are in the ground. Well, in the Q'ero community, they don't have trees, not even, shrubs, okay? They have only a straw and, very small species of little plants. So in order to get this wood, they have to travel deep in their jungle. They dominate 3 ecological layers. They have the jungle, a cloud forest, and also the highlands where they have mainly their alpacas, okay? So they go and travel to that place, to the cloud forest, and then they bring this tacarpu from there, this wood. The Q'ero people uses in wood rather than it's being introduced, in metal things, okay? Tacarpu made out of metal, but they find out that the metal damages the rope, so they are not using that anymore. Just few people uses, but they prefer to use the wooden tacarpus. This is the tacarpus. It's placed, depending what you want to do. If you want to do a square weaving, then you put as a square. If you want a larger thing, like a blanket, then you put the tacarpus in longer distances and in the rectangular way. Yeah.
Sí. Todas las estancas del tacarpus siempre van a ser rectangular, porque lo que están haciendo va a ser 2. Por eso es que siempre es rectangular la figura.
Okay.
No puede hacer de forma cuadrada, porque va a ser 2.
All right. Okay.
2 callos, se dice.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Then correcting my translation. Though always they do in the rectangular way, okay? Yeah, that's mostly rectangular because the weavings of them have 2 sides, okay? As we always knew with the mastanas, has the right and the left side, okay? So 1 callu, they say 1 side is 1 callu. So if we want to speak about sides, it's callu. So they do the first callu there, and then they will weave another callu in the same way. So they will have 2 that they will unite, and they will make a mastana, a ligia, or whatever they want to have. Perfecto, Karinita.
En el único que puede hacer cuadrada las estancas de la madera son para un juña. Eso sí, no va a tener para coserlo, no va a ser 2, solo va a ser 1. Un juña.
Okay, no tiene 2 callus.
Ajá, no tiene 2
perfecto. Okay, the only time when you do in a square, it is when you do an uncuña. An uncuña is very nice weaving that they do for taking the yorcoca leaves. So the uncuña doesn't have 2 callus, or doesn't have 2 parts. It's only 1 square.
Oh, it's not. Is it an akuchi, Freddie? Like an akuchi, or is it?
Exactly. It's akuchi or. ¿Qué nombre has dicho Karinita?
Uncuña.
Uncuña, claro, uncuña.
Uncuña.
Because also
akuchi, uncuña.
the unku is this black ceremonial shirt with the pink stripe. The unku.
Yep.
So she's not talking about that.
No. We are talking about the uncuña, which is similar to an akuchi.
Oh,
It's
okay.
quite about the same. No, Karinita, el akuchi y la uncuña son casi iguales, ¿no?
Ah, sí, casi son iguales.
Yeah,
porque
okay.
no tienen su callo los 2.
Okay.
Solo son 1.
Yeah. Okay, when we speak about uncuña or akuchi, it's 1 piece. They don't have 2 sides.
This is an akuchi.
Yeah.
It's for holding your offerings, like the coca leaves for making the offerings. Yeah. Okay.
Perfecto, Karinita. ¿Sigue?
Ya. Siguiente diapositiva, por favor.
All right. Alrighty.
La guatana. La guatana son soguillas que van a unir el palo tacarpo dice el tocoro con el tacarpo en ese proceso. En donde ven
Ya.
se amarra en esta imagen, se está bien amarrado. Y
Okay.
esa guatana, o también se puede decir huashka, está hecho a base de la lana, de la fibra de alpaca. Esto mayormente lo hacen los hombres. Lo primero que hacen es misming, eso dicen, y después empiezan a enrollar en unas bolitas como este aito, y luego hacen el trenzado.
Okay. ¿Y también pueden hacer de la fibra de la llama? La
Sí,
huasca? Yeah,
ajá, sí se puede.
Okay, so this is what we call watana, okay, to tie, or the ones, the huasca or the rope you use for tying, see? Well, in this case, we have one tacarpo made out of a rebar, I think, you know, and then we have the other large wood, which is the tococho. The tococho is the one, the wood that holds the loom, okay? In this case, we are learning about the usage of the huasca or watana, which is the rope. Mainly this rope, it's made by men, okay? This is not what women weaves, all right? So they do a similar process of doing the yarn for the weavings, okay? With the drop spindle, they do that. And then they, you know, they weave in a different way after they have the yarn, all right? So, and it's made out of alpaca, or they can made out of the llama fiber, right? Sigue, mami.
Ya, el huashka en el proceso del ayuy lo van a utilizar en las cuatro estancas para amarrar el tocoro o si no el agua.
Ya, perfecto.
Y para cuando van a estar tejiendo ya, no van a utilizar en los cuatro, solo en los dos de la parte inferior del agua.
Okay, so when they are making the loom, okay, then is when they use the, you know, they tie to the 4 tacarpos, all right? And then they have 2 tocochos as well in one and in the lower part. That is when they make the loom first. When they finish doing the loom and they start weaving, then they only have 2 of those tacarpos because they start weaving in the other one, right? So, sigue, mami.
Sí. Y el huashka siempre se utiliza, solo va a ser dos, van a utilizar en el proceso del agua.
When
Digo
you
del
start doing, okay, so when you start doing the awai, then you use only 2 of the huascas, only the 2 of the ropes.
Eso sería todo. En la siguiente diapositiva, por favor.
Okay.
El aguacaspi, o también se dice tocoro o agua. Los tres nombres estaban bien, si van a decir bien. El aguacaspi va a sostener la unidumbre de los palos, donde va a sujetar eso, de los tres extremos. Ajá.
Okay, so there we go. We have, you know, we learned in the previous pages about the wood that sustains, you know, the loom. In this case, you know, you can call in 3 different ways that, like you would call as aguacaspi, or the wood for the weaving, which is the literal translation. Tococho, you know, it's another name that they call, or agua, you know. It's 3 names that they use for that, so you can see what is the usage of that.
Ya, en el agua solo van a utilizar dos dos tocoros o aguas. Cuando van a estar haciendo ya el tejido, en ahí sí van a utilizar 4. 2 en la parte superior y 2 en la parte inferior, que va en la parte inferior es donde va a enrollar todo lo que están avanzando el tejido.
Okay. So the usage of the aguacasti, the tococho, or the agua, its function, it is number 1 is to sustain both sides of the loom. And then when they start weaving, then they will add 2 more, so as in the upper and in the lower part, or up and down. So 3 of them, they will be used for weaving, and the last one will be to roll what they are weaving. What is woven, then they'll roll in it.
Sí. Y los dos que van a estar en la parte superior, uno va a estar en el superior siempre y el otro va a estar, siempre va a estar con el, ¿cómo se llama? Debajo del agua, que va a estar para que pueda sujetar el ¿cómo se llama? Cata, se dice cata. Ajá.
Para que mantenga separado las dos líneas.
Ajá.
Okay, the work of the aguacasti, okay, so and in the lower and in the upper part, it is to keep, separated, the upper loom with the lower loom, because when they do the loom are 2, okay, because that goes around, right? And they do crossed. So just for keeping it like separated and good enough for putting your hands under, they use the aguacasti for that.
Yeah, eso sería todo en esta parte.
Okay,
Freddie,
Siguiente.
Sí.
Go ahead,
Right.
Elizabeth.
I think it's really nice what you explained to me one time about the verb awai, which means to weave, but it's like the whole process of how you treat the llama, and you raise the llama with a lot of love, and you shear the llama, and then you take the thread and then you weave the thread, and then you can start to actually make the weaving, but it's the whole process. It's so holistic. When they talk about weaving, it starts with the animal and the whole process, even in this one word, that everything is so holistic in their thinking about how they do their weaving. They never leave out the animal or the raising and care of the animal when they're talking about the weaving. Yeah, it's not separated.
And Elizabeth, this is a way also, to imprint their experiences sometime, and then they take a lot of information for their future generations. Well, because we have ritualistic weaving and utilitarian weaving. Okay, in the ritualistic ones, we have the mastanas with these sacred symbolisms of the Andean spiritual tradition. In the utilitarian weaving, they weave their experiences. It's very nice, when woman, follows their dreams, what they dream, they imprint on their weavings. This is what I heard from the weaving or weaver communities. And depending of the occasion as well, if they are weaving for their daughter, for their grandchildren, for their husband, okay? So they imprint a lot of information, on the weavings, okay? Though, if you are told about the history of that weaving, then you remember it. And when you have your children, you tell them that grandmom did it for me, and with this information imprinted, when I was getting married, when I had my birthday, because they will put those events on their weavings. Weaving is very important for the Andean communities. Weaving, it is, how you feel, if you receive a gift, as a Western people, what would you like most? What makes you happy? In this case, in the Andean communities, their style, it is to give weavings with a lot of love imprinted in it and a lot of history that will, you know, pass one generation to the others. Yeah, it is very nice.
Thank you, Freddie.
Yeah,
Okay.
siguiente.
No, es nomás, el agua caspi viene de un palo que se llama tocoro. Eso crece en la selva de Queros.
All right, this awakaspi, you know, has to not make it very heavy. As you can see, it's quite thick, yeah? But, you know, for not making it so heavy and for not, you know, just holding it, make you tired, then it's made out of tojocho, which is a kind of wood, which is like a pipe, you know, it's empty in the middle, right?
It's not bamboo though. So
No, no, no. Tojocho is a different thing. Okay, muy bien.
Ahora les voy a explicar sobre el kaito.
Now we are going to speak about the kaitu.
El kaito van a seleccionar los hilos dependiendo de qué tejido van a hacer. Y va a estar de forma ordenada para que puedan realizar el ayu.
So the first thing they do, the kaitu, all right? The kaitu, it is a ritual when you choose the colors of your kaitu and how you are going to mix it for creating your weaving. Though they are going to put in order, okay, which go first and which go last, okay? And then they are going to start making the loom, okay?
Yeah. El kaito, los colores más, los que van a utilizar del kaito, va a ser el negro, el panty, el puca, que puede ser rojo, el rosado, que es panty, y el negro. Esos son los colores que más utilizan. Y el saraquillo.
Okay, the colors that identifies to the weavings of Eros, it is the black llana, the pink panty, the red puca, and yellow ello. Right? So those
y
colors.
el color anaranjado más.
Ajá. ¿Cómo sería, cómo le dices anaranjado en quechua? Te cogí, te cogí. Okay, say anaranjado, así, anaranjado. Como Elizabeth en quechua es Elizabeth.
That's right.
Así, anaranjado. So they use the orange as well.
Sí. El kaito tiene un proceso.
How do you write? Sorry, Freddie. To write yellow is ello? No, how does?
It's with Q apostrophe ELLO.
Okay, got it. Yellow, ello. Okay, thank you.
That is yellow. Ya, sigue, mami.
El kaito tiene un proceso. Lo primero que van a hacer es sacar las fibras de la alpaca, ya sea de la alpaca o la llama, pero más utilizan de la alpaca. Hay 3 tipos de tejidos en allá que dicen, ¿cómo se llama? En mi tierra dicen, por ejemplo, si la liglia es de alpaca, dicen que es liglia de alpaca, pero si es de oveja, todo es de oveja. Por eso que el de la oveja es más difícil de hilar con el pushka.
Yeah.
Pero de la alpaca no es tan difícil como de la oveja. Rápido se hila con la pushka.
Yeah. Okay, so to make and give a color to the yarn, it's a very complex work. Okay, so the technique that they use, it is the technique of the drop spindle, all right? So people call us rueca, or they call in Quechua, it is pushka, okay? It's a little thing that twists the fiber of the llama or the alpaca, Mainly they use alpaca because it's easier to make a yarn rather than sheep. It's a little harder, right? So, sigue, mami.
We're talking about the color?
No. How to make the yarn. We are not talking about the colors yet.
Las fibras de la alpaca que más van a utilizar es el color blanco, porque es el color de alpaca que tienen más. Por eso que del color blanco lo van a tener a colores.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, then they make mainly, they make a yarn mainly from the white alpacas, and this is the predominant color of alpaca they have in Eros, because it will be easy for them to just color it or to dye, the yarn of the alpaca.
Ya. Y después de ese hilado que van
Ya.
a hilar cada persona, lo envuelven con su mano, lo sacan de la pushka y lo envuelven así harto, y después de eso lo tienen, lo hacen hervir en ollas para que puedan tenerlo. Y ahí es donde lo van a sacar colores, diferentes colores de kaito, y luego todavía se va, luego lo van a unir dos hilados que van a hacer lo unen y luego van a hacer el anti, en donde lo van a convertir en kaito.
Oh, perfecto. Okay. Okay, though. Well, after they have, one yarn which is twisted to one direction, they will have another yarn twisted as well to the opposite direction. Okay. And then, they are going to mix these two yarns for making one. Okay. Then is when the kaito comes. Okay. When they mix one, which is twisted to the right side, another one to the left side, and then they unite both, and then they make a stronger yarn, which is the weaving kaito. That's the real kaito, it's stronger. And then they weave. They dye. Okay, they dye. Mainly they do with a lot of plants that they have. Possibly they will explain to us. Entonces, ¿qué plantas utilizan para teñir?
Para teñir utilizan el tiri.
Ya.
El tiri, luego utilizan ¿cómo se llama?
¿Te doy una manito? ¿Hay
Okay.
chilca? ¿Hay chilca?
El chilca.
Ya. Después,
el cheque también, el
cheque.
cheque.
Ya.
O cheque también es eso.
Cochinilla.
La cochinilla en allá no utilizan mucho porque no hay.
Ya.
Ajá.
Pero, ¿de dónde sacan el rojo?
El color rojo lo sacan de la cochinilla, me imagino que lo sacarán.
Sí, deben tener. Okay, so there are different shrubs that they use, for dyeing the yarn of the alpaca. Mainly how they do is they boiled, okay, the plant, okay, for a long period of time until the color comes and gives to the yarn. There is tiri, which I know, it's very. ¿El tiri qué color saca?
El tiri saca el color verde, también tiene sus florcitas que son morados.
Y también saca morado. Okay, tiri. Okay, so they can get two colors out of that. From that, they get a green, and then they have the purple, because they use the flowers, which are purple as well. And then they have cheque. ¿Y de cheque qué color sale?
De cheque sale el color amarillo, creo que es ¿cómo se llama? También
Sí, sale amarillo.
Ajá.
Okay, then they have another plant which is cheque, you know, and gives the yellow color. And they use as well, it's introduced cochineal there too, you know, for getting the derivations of the red color. You know what is cochineal, yeah? It's a little bug. Yeah, the Andean communities takes more than 20 tonalities, you know, of that little bug. And so depending which mordant they use, yeah. So
But
they
it's called cochinilla? Cochinilla?
cochinilla.
Cochinilla.
Yeah, it's a kind of lice that grows on the cacti. Yeah, in the tuna cacti. It's very expensive. I will tell you. Yeah, it's about $60 or $70 the kilo of that because they use it for the makeup industry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Right.
Okay.
Chay
And they get
mantani,
the
mami.
deep
Después, ya como les dije, todo ese proceso es que hacen del aitu.
Ya, perfecto, muy bien. Siguiente, me dices cuando quieras que pase.
Y siempre para el aitu son dos hilados van a unirse.
Exacto, claro,
Ajá.
claro. Ya les expliqué eso. Para el haitu haces el kanti, you know?
Anti. Ajá.
Claro. So she is reminding us that the process of uniting these two yarns in the opposite directions twisted, that's the kanti. Okay, kanti makes one stronger yarn. Instrumentos.
Ya, los instrumentos que vamos a utilizar en el tokoro. En ahí pueden ver que va después del illawi.
Ya.
Es un palo, como dice bambú o tokoro grueso, que tiene una
También.
forma tubular.
Ya.
En este puede ser más claro.
Yeah. Okay, though then we have an example of tokuro or tukuro. All right. So we were talking about it. Okay, there are two in both extremes, which holds the loom, and other ones that are in the middle, you know, that separates, you know, that makes clear the separation of the two levels of the loom, as you can see. So in this case, they have a tukuro made out of bamboo. Okay. And as I told you, it's empty inside. Yeah, it's like a pipe. Sigue, Karinita, sigue.
Este tokoro, como les dije anteriormente, va a ir en la parte inferior, tanto en ahí también. Este palo es muy duradero porque no se rompe. Por eso es que más lo prefieren ese palito. Y encima
Okay.
no pesa casi mucho.
Yeah.
Ajá.
So they prefer to have the tukuro out of bamboo because it's less heavy and it's very resistant. You know, very resistant. Sigue, Karinita.
Ya. De este tokoro también se puede hacer el pushka.
Así. ¿Cómo lo hacen del palito?
Sí, del palito lo tallan y lo separan.
Yeah. Okay, also this material, which is bamboo, is also used to make the drop spindle, you know, this little thing that they have for twisting the yarn and twisting the fiber and making a yarn. It's because it's very resistant, it's very hard.
Sí. Ya, eso sería todo.
Perfecto. Boom.
Ya. En él les voy a explicar sobre la murmura. El paro de murmura es el que está sujetando los hilos rojos.
Ya, perfecto.
Ajá, y este palito son delgaditos. y son de color amarillo cuando extraes de la planta.
Sigue, mami, sigue.
Después, la murmura es un palo delgado que también va a servir para otras cosas, que van a ser para el mini, que el mini es el que va a envolver para los hilitos. De un extremo a otro se lleva para poder poner en los hilados y hacer el proceso del agua.
Ya. Y este está, está encargado de cruzar cada vez que tejes.
Sí, es el encargado este es el más importante porque esto va a ser que va a sujetar el hilado, el que va, cuando lo sujetas así es el que lleva kata hacia abajo,
Ya.
hacia el tejido que está haciendo.
Okay. So then we have this very thin wood, okay, which is retaining to the red other yarn, okay? So the name of that is murmura, okay? And this is the thin, very thin wood that holds to this process that they know as mini, okay? Mini, you know, each yarn, it's tied to one of these red yarns. Okay, so what they use for, it is to cross the two levels of the loom, okay, and give a chance for them to weave, okay? So Karina says that this is the most important part of the weaving, okay, because this creates the crosses every time they need for weaving. Sigue, Karinita.
Bien. La murmura va a servir como dije para el iyawi. Lo primero que van a hacer es poner de un extremo a otro el hilo rojo, y después de cada lana van a estar sacando así, de cada lana sacan para que se forme así.
Okay, so the union of the mini, okay, of the red yarn and murmura, which is the wood, the union of these two, as we can see, it is the illawi, okay? Once again, and she's explaining that this is, you know, the instrument that is going to create the crosses of the loom for giving them the chance to weave. Sigue, Karinita.
Eso sería todo en esta parte de esto.
Ya, perfecto. Boom. Rookie.
El rookie. El rookie está hecho de madera de la planta de queuña, que lo van a tallar en forma de una hoja, o sea, en dos lo tallan, luego lo van a convertir como en una hoja, una forma de una hoja, de espalda.
Ya. Sigue, mami, sigue.
Esta planta, el rookie lo van a utilizar, utilizan siempre dos en el agua, en el proceso del agua. Siempre hay dos para llevar el kata hacia abajo y el otro sujetarlo, el otro kata.
Ajá. Okay, so there is another instrument here which is called uruki. Okay, so mainly it is made out of a wood from the tree called queuña. Also, the queuña, it's a tree, you know, they have in their cloud forest, which they use also for medicinal purposes. So they carve out of this wood the rukis, okay? Well, this is made in the form of a tree leaf, okay? They carve like that, as you can see both sides. No, it's in the form of a tree leaf. And this is mainly used also, you know, for holding the crosses, okay? When they cross one, then they put in between, okay? So mainly in one weaving, they will have more than 3 crosses, though they use that for dividing it, you know, making sure that it's not going, they are not going to lose the crossing of the yarn in the loom. Sigue, Karinita.
El color del rookie, diré de la madera de queuña, siempre va a tener como el color rojizo.
All
Porque
right.
esta madera es que van a utilizar más para el rookie porque va a ser más duradero. No es como el de cheche. En rookie es rápido, se rompe.
Mm-hmm. They use the rookie made out of the queuña tree. It's because it's hardwood, right? It's not like others, you know, it breaks quick, but this one doesn't break. And the color of the rookies that they have made out of queuña always is red because the wood is red.
En el rookie podemos ver que tiene 2 puntitas. Esas puntitas en los extremitos, que están bien talladitas.
Okay.
Eso lo tallan para que la lana no lo rompa, para que pueda introducirse rápido al agua.
Uh-huh.
Por eso es que tiene esa formita.
Okay, so, you know, you can see that they carved at the end like a kind of a tree leaf, yeah? So they do like this, it's because they don't want to damage to the yarn, which, you know, composes the loom. Also, you know, to get through in between the 2 levels of the loom faster and quicker and not breaking none of the yarns of the loom as well. So this is why the way how they carve in the form of a tree leaf there.
So Freddie, this is the tool that passes through.
Exactly, you know, just holding the divisions of the cross. Mm-hmm. Sigue, Karinita.
El rookie va a servir como para que pueda aplastar con la huichuna.
Yeah.
Para eso va a servir, para que pueda aplastar los hilos bien, para que no estén flojos.
Also the rookie is used for tightening the weaving. You know, imagine, you know, when you finish the weaving and then you pull towards you just to tight also the weaving, the cross on the weaving. It's also used for that, for tightening. Sigue, Karina.
Ya, eso sería todo sobre el rookie. Ya, hay la huichuna.
Which una?
Ajá, huichuna.
Yeah.
La huichuna está hecho del hueso de la alpaca o del brazo de la alpaca, de eso lo hacen. O también de la llama o la alpaca se podría decir.
Yeah.
La huichuna sirve para aplastar, como dije, con el rookie, los hilos, para que no estén flojos y débiles los hilos.
Para ajustar.
Para ajustarlo.
Okay, so the witch una, it's made out of the arm bone of the llama or the alpaca, as you can see. Okay, this is used for tightening, you know, every yarn, you know, in the weaving. So this is what she didn't say, but I will tell you, you know, when they use the witch una, okay, for tightening the weaving. How tight it is, I will tell you that the men's poncho also, it is impermeable, believe it or not, yeah? It is impermeable because they use the wichuna for tightening, very, very tight the weaving. Sigue, mami.
En ahí podemos observar en la imagen que una parte está más gruesita y la otra más delgadita. La que está en la parte más gruesita es para agarrar y para ajustar los hilos y ponerlo bien. Y la parte que está delgadita es lo que va a hacer su trabajo para aplastar los hilos.
Exactly. Okay, as you can see, the thicker part, it is the part from where you grab this instrument, and the pointy part, you know, it has the job of tightening. So the way how they tight, it is like using a comb for brushing your hair, you know, but in this case, only one. Tight to the weaving, yeah.
La huichuna es el que le va a dar como que digamos forma al tejido, porque depende de cómo agarras y de cómo lo vas con la fuerza de lo que lo vas haciendo, de eso va a salir el tejido. Y es preferible hacerlo bien con fuerza, hacer huichui, para que salga bonito.
Okay, so they use the wichuna as well, for tightening, and then to make sure that the figures you are doing will be perfect, okay? So it's very important to use the wichuna and also put a lot of power while you tight, okay? Though the definition of the figure you want to give, you know, you want to imprint in the weaving will be perfect.
Sí, eso sería todo sobre la huichuna.
Perfecto.
La casquina. La casquina, como pueden ver, es un poquito más, es delgadito, no es como la huichuna. Y también está fabricado de la llama, de esos huesos de la llama o sino de la alpaca.
Ya.
Y son más alargaditos. Dirán, ¿por qué es más alargadito? Es para que pueda coger lo que está payando. Se dice el proceso del payay. Le va a sacar los hilos o va a bajarlo abajo o si no lo va a sacar de todo.
So the ashkina, it is another instrument which is made out of the bone of the llama or the alpaca, which is larger, as you can see, and is thinner. This instrument, it is used for the process of payay, okay? Payay, it is, you know, to use and then grab the color that you want and to make the pattern, okay? So sometimes, you know, your finger nail, it's not enough for that. It is why they use the bone of the alpaca or the llama, you know, in a form of a fingernail, you know, for choosing, you know, the color of the yarn that you want for making your pattern in your weaving, for picking, yeah.
Con la casquina también la casquina también va a servir para que puedan hacer las figuras en las ligias o en las mantas o en todos esos. Dependiendo de la casquina, porque si no habría la casquina no sabríamos con qué escogerlo, porque esto nos da la facilidad para poder escoger los hilos. Por eso es que la puntita tiene como de agujita, es bien blandita.
It's very important to use the casquina because thanks to these instruments, we can choose the different colors that we need for imprinting in the patterns on our weavings. Okay, so this makes easier for them to choose the color of yarn for their patterns.
Sí. La casquina lo pueden escoger de diferentes tamaños, dependiendo de qué tejido vas a hacer. Por ejemplo, esta casquina que ves es para hacer, por ejemplo, mantas o si no ponchos y todo eso. Hay otros más pequeñitos que lo puedes utilizar para el acuchi o para el cintillo, para estitos.
Yeah.
Ajá.
Okay, depending what you want to weave, then you will use or a bigger or a smaller casquina. The one that we have here, it is made out of, I mean, it is for working with ponchos, with carrying cloths, for those big things. But if you do smaller ones like little belts or these ornaments for your hats, then you will use smaller ones, smaller casquinas.
Esta casquina que ven es lo que hizo mi abuelito para mí.
Oh, the casquina that we see here is what Don Humberto, ¿cierto?
Sí, mi abuelito.
Don Humberto Sonqo made for her granddaughter. Wow, this is amazing. Wow. This is a casquina that has been made by Don Humberto as a gift for his granddaughter, Karina Sonqo, right? Very nice gift.
Sí.
Wow. Beautiful.
Sigue, mami.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I still don't get how they do it. It's incredible, but it's so hard to comprehend how they put all these amazing, delicate patterns in the weaving. So I would have to sit and watch for a long time.
Right.
But Karina's 21. Karina, when did you start weaving? How old?
Karina, ¿cuándo comenzaste a tejer? ¿A qué edad?
Yo inicié desde los 10. Desde los 10 ya hacía guatanas, estitos. Por estos comencé primero.
Okay.
Luego a los 11 y 12 mi mamá me enseñó a tejer liglia. Primero hacía prácticas con acuchis, hacía para mi mamá, para mi abuelita, así.
Ajá.
Y poco a poco así fui aprendiendo, viendo a mi mamá cómo hacía.
Claro, con el apoyo de la Capacheca Ñusta, ¿no?
Sí.
Okay, so she started her weaving activity when she was 10 years old, making the watanas, these weavings that we use for, tying our mishas. And then when she was 11, more or less, her mom taught her to make liglias, or the carrying cloths, or practice with acuchis, or uncuñas. She was practicing for undoing for her mom and for his grandfather as well.
And also the little finger loom. When she was here at our house, she taught my sons how to use the toe loom, little toe loom, where you put the thread on your toe and then you like hold your toe up like that and you weave on your toe. I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
Yeah, they use your toe instead of tacarpo. Instead of the stick, yeah.
And they make the tiny little wristbands, like with little alpacas in them, little amazing tiny lines in little bracelet or the tie, the watanas. Yeah, so cool.
Okay, Karinita, me parece que con esto has terminado, ¿no? Porque ya no hay otras diapositivas. ¿Quieres decirle algo a nuestros queridísimos auditores?
Sí. Ahora en estos momentos les voy a presentar algunos de estos instrumentos.
Okay, perfecto. So she's going to present us alive one of these instruments, yeah. I mean, some of these instruments.
Esta, como pueden observar, es el agua.
Okay, I will
Tubular, como les dije.
Yeah.
Ujú.
So that is the agua, which is a tococho or is a bamboo, you know, it's not heavy. So she has one for her weaving. Después,
Ya. Esto es el ruki.
and then she has a ruki, you know, which is quite flat, okay? It's thick but flat. This is in order to not damage any yarn from the loom, right? Perfecto.
Este ruki es para una manta o liglia. Porque es
Ajá.
pequeño.
So the size defines, you know, if that ruki is for a shawl, or if, you know, or if it's for a carrying cloth, is even bigger. So they have a lot of sizes, diverse sizes of rukis.
Y aquí les voy a mostrar creo que es lo que es tiene.
Ah,
¿Cómo se llama eso?
Wichuna.
Wichuna. So this is a wichuna, you know, what they use for tightening the
Como
weaving.
pueden ver, aquí de acá se agarra y se hace así.
See, she's teaching, you know, how she tights, you know, like it dragging all towards her.
Y el otro es. Esto es la casquina.
And that is a esquina, right? Just to pick which yarn and which color you want for your pattern, depending what you are doing. Easier to pick with that, instead of your fingernail.
wow.
Esto sería todos los instrumentos que ahorita les tengo.
Okay, it is the whole instruments that she can show us, which belongs.
Nästa redning.
Oh dear. That was. Karina, beautiful, amazing. Oh,
Gracias, Karinita, muy bonito.
this wichuna is the one that Papa Don Humberto made for you right here, this one?
Esto.
No, it's the casquina, is the casquina is the other, the large one is what Don Humberto made for her.
Nice.
Este es un poquito complicado de hacer porque necesita tiempo para el tallado y para sacarlo así bien bonito, bien lisado.
It's not easy to make one of those. You need a lot of time for polishing and making it very nice and very, you know, smooth mainly,
Mhm.
right?
Karinita, how long to make one of these? Mastana.
¿Cuánto tiempo te toma hacer una mastana?
¿Así? ¿Así?
Ajá.
Yeah.
Mm,
Dang it.
2 semanas podría decirse.
Yeah, she does in 2 weeks.
Wow. How many hours a day are you working?
¿Cuántas horas por día trabajas?
Ahorita estoy haciendo otra mantita que es purito, sí, negrito.
Ya.
En eso estoy haciendo, todo el día estoy haciendo. Y máximo
Entonces,
hago. Ajá.
Entonces, cuando te toma 2 semanas en hacer una mastana, trabajas todo el día, las 2 semanas. Pretty much the whole day for 2 weeks.
Yes.
De 7 hasta las 4, sin hasta las 3 nomás.
All right, starting at 7 a.m. until 3 p.m.
That's a lot of work.
Da mucho trabajo.
You are a very good weaver. You're a very good weaver, Karina.
Eres una buena tejedora, Karina. Alin Awaskangi.
She's an
Muchas
amazing
gracias.
weaver and also one of our star students of the school. She got all like straight A's and got a scholarship to go to university. So, do you guys have any questions for Karina? We're a bit over our time. Yeah, well, 15 minutes over. Robbie, do you have a question?
No question. No. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
Un gusto
Añan-
presentar.
Perfect. It's a pleasure for her too.
Anybody else? Lolo, was that your mom?
Yes, yes.
Your mama with you? Hi, mom of Lolo. So nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
It's very interesting. So yeah, it's really hard. Yeah. But yeah, my mom can weave. So yeah, so that's why.
Very good.
I'm kind of hopeless. So yeah.
Speak to her about the capa checa nusta to your mom.
Yeah, I told her that. The
Yes.
capacity.
So cool. All right, do you guys have any questions or comments for Karina?
Thanks, Karina. Muchas gracias. Excelente.
Gracias, Karina. ¿Te entendiste eso? No estaba en español.
Sí.
Thank you. They're so beautiful.
Fue un gusto presentarles, darles a conocer los instrumentos que se utilizan para el tejido y poder conocer cada uno de estos, ¿no? Y para qué sirven.
It's my pleasure in being able to present you the instruments that we use for our weaving and you to get more idea about our weavings.
So this presentation will be posted up on our Sunday Sami services if you want to direct anyone to see it on our YouTube channel. If you know anyone that weaves and wants to take a look. I think some of you maybe got the hour wrong and came in a bit late because we're just finishing now. We started more than an hour ago. All right, but thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone. Karina,
Gracias, Karina.
awesome.
Gracias, Karina.
Muy bonito, Karina.
Chao, chao. Gracias.
Thank you, gracias.
Gracias.
Ciao, chicos. See
Ciao.
you, Ravi, Kaya.
Chao.
What are you guys doing today? Emma, Kaya. Oh, tonight.
We
It's
had a
night.
rave. Emma did a rave. Bit of DJing.
You DJ'd a rave?
Yeah. All there was like at least 6 people. Yeah, you missed out, Elizabeth. We needed you because I was telling Kaya about how you can dance. I mean, I never forget that. You heard about the Wu-Tang Clan at the Glastonbury. Yeah. So it's been a good day.
All right. So nice. Cool. Urbichai Karinita. Thank you so much. So nice to see you.
Thank you, Karina. Amazing.
Urbichai, Karina.
Yeah, so good, Karina. Inspiring. Absolutely inspiring. You're so beautiful, and so are your weaving.
Nice. Who's helping you? Is Roxana there? Roxana? No. ¿Quién te está ayudando con la cámara?
Roxana.
Hola, Roxanita. The other sister of Karina. Roxana is there. Hola, Roxana.
Hola, Roxana.
Hi, Roxana.
Okay, thank you so much, love.
Yeah, thank you. It's just amazing learning about this weaving. It's really extraordinary. So
Crazy.
much to it. Yeah.
So many prayers imprinted in the weaving. And
Oh, yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw the pattern, I really felt that, you know, I looked at the pattern, I thought, oh, it just felt right away in my body, you know, the pattern communicating. So it was
Yes.
amazing to hear the story behind that and all everything that goes into it.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Well, I'm waiting for you guys to come help me with the macadamia nut heart.
We're doing pretty good at apples. We're good apple scrumpers.
Yeah, there's been a good apple season
Yeah.
so far.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
incredible.
Emma knows all the apple spots.
I know all
She's
the
taking
good
me to
spots.
the apple spots.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at Kaya's house or Emma's house? Where are you?
Kaya's house. Yeah.
My
Hey.
temple.
Yeah,
Kaya's-
it's amazing what's being set up here. Thanks also to you. Yeah, this is an excellent collaboration. Right in the centre of Glastonbury. So yeah, very good, really good to see this coming into growing, basically to see this growing. And the whole foundation's put in place so beautifully. So yeah, excellent work.
Love it. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Keep going, baby. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Aloha.
Aloha.
Ciao, Karina. Ciao, ciao, Roxanita. Muchas gracias por todo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Ciao.
Oh, she's so